Hello, Greg. I saw you see. So, good morning. Good morning. Everyone, welcome.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Anissa Barton Thompson, and I'm the social media specialist for the California State University Dominguez Hills College of Extended and International Education, and I'll be your host for this presentation. Welcome. This webinar is being recorded and will be available on our website and social media resources shortly after today's session. Feel free to download the Community College Teaching Certificate Program Information Kit for details about the program and additional resources covered in today's webinar. The address is bit.ly/CSUDH-CCTC-InfoKit. We have provided a link in the chat for those who are participating live. It will also be available via a follow-up email to the attendees as well as on our website. Before we jump in, I'd like to review the Zoom controls. This session is being presented in a webinar format, so you won't need to worry about connecting your microphone or camera. To help us address your questions, feel free to use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen if you are joining us from the Zoom desktop, app, or web browser, or in the top right of your screen if you are on a mobile device. Once you click the Q&A button, a dialog box will open allowing you to type your question. Our marketing staff members, Stephanie Bukian and Keith Otterberg, are standing by to assist. We'll be answering questions at the end of the session, although often you may find the question you have may be answered during the program overviews. With that being said, let's take a quick look at our session for today. We'll begin by meeting our certificate faculty, who will introduce you to the program via an overview of benefits, expectations, and course details. And now to lead off our session, I'll turn this over to Dr. Rodger McGinness. Dr. McGinness, take it away.
Thank you, Anissa. I'm Rodger McGinness. I'm one of the instructors in the Community College Teaching Certificate Program. I have my doctorate in education from UCLA. I earned my MBA at Loyola Marymount University and my bachelor's degree in corporate finance from the University of Colorado Boulder. My professional background includes over 40 years teaching in the classroom, over 10 years administering the community college as a dean and as a vice president. And I had a short and fun corporate background on Wall Street prior to entering education. Thank you for attending our webinar. And now I'd like to introduce Dr. Martha Sklar.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Martha Sklar, and in my professional life for over 40 years, I've been a teacher of mathematics at the high school level in Illinois and in Los Angeles at the community college level. I have a PhD in mathematics education from Northwestern University, as well as a master's from there and a bachelor's from Roosevelt University. During the last 8 years of my professional career, I was an administrator at LA City College as Dean of Academic Affairs, supervising 10 departments. Since retirement, for the past 15 years, I've coordinated this program and here at CSUDH, and my classes have been as small as 7 or sometimes as large as 19, depending on the semester, but since it's an independent study course, each student gets individualized attention. And now I'm going to turn it over to Professor Ramon Baltazar. Ramon?
Hi. Yeah, thank you very much, Martha. Good morning. My name is Professor Ramon Baltazar, and I will be one of your instructors here for the CCTC program. I come with 30 years of industry experience, most of them in manufacturing and operations. And I have been teaching for going on 18 years now. I am currently chair of business at a Christian University, but I've also done graduate and undergraduate classes, both in CCT and CSU and other universities. So with that, I would like to turn it over again to Dr. McGinness to tell you more about the minimum educational requirements for our program. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Ramon. Now that you know a little bit about who we are, you're probably wondering what particular topic or subject you can teach at the community college level. Well, these are established by the state of California, and we call them the minimum qualifications, MQs for short. This determines what you can teach, but you have to check what's exactly printed on your master's degree diploma and your bachelor's degree diploma, not what you think your major is. You know, when I graduated from the University of Colorado in Boulder, I thought my major was corporate finance, but my diploma says business. So we'll take you through the process and help you figure out what you can teach at the community college level later in this webinar. Ramon is now going to talk about the objectives of the community college teaching certificate.
All right, thank you, Roger. So we're going to get the program objectives, okay? And in this slide, we're to prepare students for CCT teaching and improve your job readiness to get into the community college. Number 2, we'll provide a solid understanding of the mission and the function of the community college. Number 3, we're going to develop and enhance functional skills and techniques and strategies for teaching at the CC level, okay? And then we're going to provide advice and guidance for students in the teaching internship. So we'll probably have some hand-holding sessions with many of you too, okay? And then finally, going to support your candidacy for applying for the community college, which means providing you with recommendations and a lot of the things that you have to verify, questions and answers that you may have about the application process, okay? And with that, I'm gonna turn it back to Rodger for the outline of the program. This is the 3-course program, okay? Go ahead, Rodger.
Thank you. The Community College Teaching Certificate is a very short, condensed program. It consists of 3 courses. The first course that we'd like you to take is the Community College. Ramon teaches this, and I also teach it occasionally online. It gives you an in-depth background of the community college, how it's organized, how it functions, the various committees, etc. The middle course in the 3-course program is Effective College Teaching. This is strictly a pedagogy course, which means we go into depth about how we teach in the classroom at the community college and university level. And the third and final course, which is the capstone course, is the Teaching Internship course. This is GED 594. Martha Sklar is in charge of that course, and I'll now hand it over to Dr. Sklar to describe that course.
Thank you, Dr. McGinness. The 594 course is a 3-unit course. It's really a course that is a full semester interview with the college where you are performing your internship. It gives you an opportunity to learn all about what goes on, not only in the community college classroom, but committees and background information that your mentor will be able to provide.
Thank you, Dr. Sklar. Now let's address how you can be admitted to the community college teaching program. And Professor Baltazar will explain that next.
All right. The community college teaching admission qualifications. Number 1, of course, we would like you to have a master's degree in the designated discipline where you're going to be applying for. Number 2, you should be already completing, okay, a master's degree by the time you are applying for your internship, okay? And the last, not least, but you are currently employed as a community college instructor. Now, you only need to fulfill one of the requirements to be admitted to the CCTC, okay? Just a little footnote, okay? Many of you may be wondering about career education program or vocational education areas where there is no master's degree. We want to make sure that you understand in these areas, you're going to need industry certification. You're going to need also a number of years of experience, sometimes 3, sometimes 5, depending on the career area that you are concentrating on. So then again, hold a master's degree or completing master's degree or currently a degree or currently a community college instructor. But in any case, just in case you are going to be teaching in CTC or excuse me, career technical education, you will need some kind of certification from the industry or minimum years experience, okay? With that, I'm going to move it back again to Rodger, okay? And, or excuse me, that will be again, the first, we're going to now into GED 549, okay? I'm going to now talk to you about the first course of the program, which is the American Community College, okay? Now, this course is taught by myself, okay, Ramon and Dr. McGinness, okay? I'm going to be teaching this session, which is the American Community College, okay? Now, the American Community College, we're going to be meeting for 4 weeks, remotely, of course, and I'm going to cover 4 main areas. The first area is basically background and the mission community college. Second area, which would be around the second week, I cover students, detailed demographics, They are going to be your main focus, okay? Week number 3 or module 3, we will basically the teacher, okay? And then moving on from there, we're going to try and cover between 3 and 4 weeks before we're going to cover the institution, which is the community college, and then finally the curriculum, what you're going to be teaching, okay? So that is going to be the general agenda for the GED 549, okay? With that being, I'm going to turn it over back to Rodger, okay? Dr. McGinness is going to talk to you about the second course, GED 548. Go ahead, Rodger.
Thank you, Professor Baltazar. The middle course in the Community College Teaching Certificate is the Effective College Teaching course. This is GED 548. Now, I know the numbering is backwards because the first course, the Community College, is numbered GED 549, but the flow is actually better if you take the Community College course prior to taking the Effective Teaching course. In the Effective Teaching course, we cover syllabus development, we cover lecture planning and lecture development, presentation style, other factors including classroom management, student problems, how to deal with issues in the classroom. We go on to assignment development, how to create assignments that help you assess whether the student has accomplished the student learning objectives, and finally, student evaluation and grade assignment. The next course in the the third and final course in the Community College Teaching Certificate is the Independent Study course. Dr. Sklar covered this a little bit briefly earlier, but I'll now turn it over to Dr. Sklar now to go into how the internship works. Thank you, Dr. Sklar.
Thank you. The GED 594 course, which is the Independent Study course and internship at a community college. It has to be at an accredited community college because this is a certificate in community college teaching. The course is individualized. I've had as many as 18, 20 people or as few as 7 or 8, but each student gets individual attention. And later on, I will continue on with the application process. And now, if we look at the application process, as we see here on the screen, you will see that the requirements are to have completed or be in the process of having completed GED 549 and GED 548. And then you begin your intern search. Remember that after this, some of the items will be going on concurrently. You can start the application and start search at the same time. It's not a linear process. The student selects community colleges where he or she might be able to intern. It depends on your location, where you work, where the community colleges are. And you contact faculty members at those colleges to see if they're willing to be a mentor teacher. In the meantime, you will submit an internship application. It's 2 pages, just with vital information. It includes a 400 to 500 word statement, an unofficial transcript or a copy of your master's, if that's what you have, and 2 letters of recommendation. They can be from anybody that knows you professionally. It could be from one of our professors as well. Once you have a mentor who has agreed to be your mentor, then you inform me with the name and number of the course, the name and contact information of the mentor teacher, as well as the name and contact information of the supervising administrator, not another faculty member, but it has to be the administrator that oversees that particular department. Once I've verified all this and I validate your application, I contact the college. I prepare forms for both the mentor teacher, the administrator, and the student that have to be signed and returned to me. Once the student signs the letter of agreement as to what you're responsible for during the semester, I will give permission for you to register in GED 594H. And then you will do your internship. Once we leave COVID and there's classroom instruction, I will come out to visit you if the college is near CSUDH. The student will submit the requirements and also sometimes make sure that the mentor teacher has submitted the requirements as well. And also you have 2 written assignments that you will submit to me in a timely basis. And once I've given the grade and you've passed the course, then you can go online and get your community college certificate from CSUDH. Remember, it's community college teaching. Thank you. And now I'll turn it over to Dr. McGinness to continue with our presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Sklar. Now, at this point, I want to try to help you focus on the minimum qualifications that you satisfy, and that means the subject area and the discipline that you can teach at the community college level. Now, in the information kit, I hope you have been able to access the information kit that's been sent out to you when you registered for this session. I want to look at page 3 of the information kit, and you'll find a link to the MQs. Now remember, MQs is what we call the minimum qualifications. Now that link starts with the letters https://ascc.org and then goes on with the rest of the link. If you click on that link, it will take you to a handbook online called the 2018 Minimum Qualifications Handbook. That's still valid. I know it's a couple years old, but those qualification stipulations are still valid. It's in alphabetical order. It's a very extensive handbook. Scroll down about halfway through the handbook, and you will see the various areas in alphabetical order that are offered at the community college level. So what you will do is you'll find the area you want to teach in the left-hand column, whether it's English or agriculture or engineering or business. And when you get to that area, you will look under the discipline and areas column to find the educational requirements. Those are the MQs. Now you have to match those up with what is printed on your diploma. Not what you think your major was, as I said earlier in this webinar. It's what is printed on the diploma. Those are the minimum qualifications. Now you might notice that sometimes they will give you an option of a combination of your bachelor's degree and your master's degree. And sometimes they will even say, or the equivalent. Sometimes you don't even have to have a bachelor or master's degree. Any degree will qualify you with experience. And to address this, Professor Baltazar is going to cover some areas that don't necessarily require a strict master's or bachelor's degree combination. Professor Baltazar, do you want to talk about social work or public administration?
Yes. Many of you, and this is Professor Ramon, so many of you might be having this printed on your diploma or your transcript where it says you are a graduate of social degree or public administration. So many of those, you're probably going to have to look at the minimum qualification page and see where it matches the course that you're going to be taking. See, most community college, there are a very few areas basically that can compare to CSU or UC. We don't teach everything in community college, okay? So you have to make sure that whatever you want to teach, the specific course that you want to teach matches the qualifications that's on the MQ, okay? The same thing with public administration. Many of you might be looking at your trip and looking at public administration degree, and then you teach business. There you go. The example that you see on your screen right now, business, is sometimes it qualifies you if you have a degree in public administration or JDL or liberal arts degree. Okay, most of the time I'm going to tell you, okay, there are very many colleges there where you're going to have wear many hats. Okay, so maybe the college or the department that you'll be working may only have the chair or maybe the program administrator. There's only you and two other faculty. Now, sometimes with the offerings they have, they may ask you to teach several different courses. So again, it's really up to the chair or maybe the program manager thinks that your qualifications can be articulated or fit into a program. Okay. Then another exception is ESL, which is an area in the what was CTE program. Many of you might be looking at a English degree or English master's degree, but there's also a lot of other qualifications that they ask you to have, which means sometimes having the TESOL or other certifications. Okay, so there are a myriad of exceptions that I can probably enumerate for you. What I'd like to do though is address individually by chat. Okay, so send a question and maybe individually many of us, myself, Dr. Sklar, and even Dr. McGinness will address with you, or our other support members will answer your questions when it comes to a lot of the different. So again, let me repeat that. Please go and ask questions, put it on that, and then we will try to address it, come in individually. Thank you very much. Dr. McGinness, maybe we can proceed from there. And I think that's enough for the scenarios because there are so many. So requirements, I'll turn it over back to you. Okay. This is just a screen that's seeing right now are just exceptions of what you might see as your scenario. Okay, so master's degree, J Administration of Justice, and years of experience. This is what you're going to see with the kind of areas where you have, it does not need a degree in some cases. For example, Administration of Justice, it might need some other form of degree professional experience, or it might need a certification. Okay, so over there, the minimum requirements might be, there's a page on the Chancellor's webpage for minimum requirements that will show you exactly where to find your area that you would like to concentrate on. It's probably like electronics, electroplating, or emergency technologies. A very, very prominent exception to this, of course, in community college, we have degrees in career education like welding. Welding does not have a master's degree, but you need some kind of certification from your industry or service area that before that you can teach, need you to have X number of years of experience and also a certain kind of certification. Okay, so from there, we're going to move on. Again, your exceptions, there are a lot of these that you will see, but we'd like to address them individually on chat. Okay? So Rodger, Dr. McGinness now will take over for you on the employment requirements. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Ramon. Before I proceed, I see a lot of you are asking questions about your particular minimum qualifications. Now remember, look at page 3 of the information kit and you will find the link to research this for yourself online. Now we'll handle questions later in the program on specific qualifications, but you can do this on your own at your leisure. Now, the next question that's most important is, how do you get hired? What are the employment requirements? Well, the first thing is we have to do a criminal background check, and this is done through live scan fingerprinting to make sure that you don't have any, now the key here is convictions, that you don't have any convictions in the areas of drugs or violence or things of that nature. The second requirement is health screening. Now, this is the state of California law. You must pass the TB test and not have any live response to that particular medical procedure. Third, I guess it is the employment verification to make sure if you're not a person who was born in the United States, that you are eligible, in fact, to work and be hired by the community college. And lastly, of course, are the minimum qualifications. You must meet the minimum qualifications in your area in order to be offered a job with the community college district. Now, once you've satisfied those, the next question that might be on your mind is, what are the benefits of taking the community college teaching certificate program? Well, if you're already employed as a community college instructor, I see some of you are part-time and some of you are already working. We know that these graduate units will help you advance possibly on the salary schedule and also qualify for other positions. You have the credibility of the Cal State University Dominguez Hills behind you. Your status as a qualified intern is bona fide. Your candidacy is certified through the application process for the independent study course. You will have developed your syllabus, you will have identified your teaching strengths, and you will have completed the semester-long teaching internship. This will greatly enhance your own self-confidence and your credibility as a community college instructor. Now, we will have a question and answer session at the end of the program. Anissa will take you through the registration process.
Thank you, Dr. McGinness. So thank you to the instructors for a great overview of the program. And we're going to come back to our instructors momentarily with the Q&A segment. But first, let's take a look at the course delivery and registration details. Almost all of the CSUDH extended education programs are being offered in an online format, which means that students are assigned online access through our campus's IT services. Each student will need login credentials to access our student portal called My CSUDH. This portal includes Blackboard, which is our learning management system, where course content is distributed, Toro Mail, which is our Gmail-based student email system, and the Zoom web conferencing tool. Those login credentials, which are your username, email account, and password, are issued through our registration office approximately 2 to 3 days prior to or after registration in your first course. Once you have received your login information, you'll be able to easily access the Toro student portal to connect with your class. Most CSUDH students' courses, whether they're on campus or online, utilize the Blackboard learning management system. To be able to participate in online courses, you will be required to access Blackboard, as well as the Zoom video conference system, to receive course syllabi, documents and resources, announcements, Zoom session links specific to your course, and a wealth of other valuable information. The links are on your screen. They are toro.csudh.edu and csudh.zoom.us, which is our campus-specific Zoom platform. Now, regarding registration, enrollment is available for Extended Education Registration Office Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We highly recommend that you register early to make sure that there's space in the course and to allow enough time for course information and online access information to be created and distributed. Payment is due at the time of registration. You can pay for courses individually or for multiple courses at once. The Federal Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, otherwise known as WIOA, provides funding through the California EDD Employment Development Department for qualifying students who are currently unemployed or seeking career training. For more information, email wioa@csudh.edu or visit the program website for more details. If you need other financial assistance, Google private student loan providers or connect with salliemae.com for student loan details. Okay. Again, we recommend that you register at least 1 week before the course begins and check your Toro mail and personal emails frequently for special instructions and campus notifications. You'll also want to be sure to test your account access in Blackboard and get comfortable with the layout of the class, such as where to find announcements, Zoom schedules, discussions, and the like. Let us know via our academic technology services if you're having any difficulty connecting. Now we will get ready for our questions with our instructors. Let's start off with a few warm-up questions. And please be aware that in the interest of time, we will limit the questions to general information regarding the program. If you have questions regarding your specific educational background or work experience in relation to the community college teaching MQs, please contact our program instructors directly, and we'll once again provide their contact information again right after the Q&A segment. Okay, so first question is, how do you foresee coronavirus affecting internship placement opportunities for students? Is the program working with community colleges, or is it up to students to find internships even though opportunities are currently limited? And this question is from Brenda Galvez. Any of our answers are welcome to chime in. Dr. McGinness, would you like to
Anisha,
take
what
this one?
question number is that each on the chat?
It's actually, it's submitted by
question number?
email. It's submitted by email.
It's submitted by email. Repeat the question again, please. Real
Yes,
quickly.
I'll shorten it. How do you foresee coronavirus affecting internship placement opportunities for students?
Probably Dr. Sklar, who's the internship coordinator, would be the expert on this question.
Yes, thank you, Dr. McGinness. We have had, due to the changes, the community college instructors have a difficult time doing their presentations. So many are not necessarily interested in having an intern. Although if you have good technical skills, you could use that as a selling point to the instructor that you could facilitate their presentation. Normally we want classroom instructions, but under COVID-19, we have changed that as long as you can do it online with the instructor. And there are lots of individual criteria that the actual college or department may require. And meet face-to-face on Zoom, of course, on a weekly basis with the instructor. So we have adjusted to the situation, which we hope will end at least by next fall.
Thank you for that. Another question, I'm going to ask this question for Professor Baltazar. If I have a master's degree from abroad, would that be a problem if I have an international master's degree?
Now, master's degree abroad, which means you will have there's an agency, and I just don't have the name right off the bat. Some community college district require you to have your degree verified by their agency first before you can actually teach in a community college. They need to verify it, but especially for those that are probably affiliated with a U.S. institution, like a branch of a U.S. institution. Some of them can be done most of the time just on a formal basis. What we call it articulation. We just want to make sure that what you are teaching in another university is the same as we're teaching here the United States. So to answer your question, number one, it can be a formal process where an agency has to certify your transcript, or it can be an informal process where the chair will probably eyeball your degree and then research and ensure that those courses that you were taking abroad can be articulated to stuff that we have here in the United States. Okay?
Okay,
So
great.
that'd be it,
And
Alicia.
our next question is, do you help us find the internship, and how easy is it to find at any given time?
Yes,
Are you addressing
yeah,
that
I
to me?
will do that.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, I have some forms that give you some suggestions about how to do it. And probably you start the process when you're in 549 or 548 as to how you go about doing this. I also have a Excel spreadsheet that gives you, you can sort it by subject area, where we have had interns in the past 10, 15 years, because I've kept records. So it's very individualized, and a lot depends on where you work or where you live in terms of proximity to that campus, if it's going to be in person. Any more particulars I'll be able to answer you in an email. But we do give guidance, but the job, it's like looking for a job. You have to find the right fit.
Perfect. Okay. So this next question will be for Dr. McGinness. Is a community college teaching certificate a required qualification to have when applying for teaching positions at community college? If I earned this certificate, would it be valid nationwide or only in California?
In California, the only qualification to teach at the community college level are the minimum qualifications set up by the state. This particular program is an academic program. It will be recognized throughout the United States and probably internationally, just as an MBA or a Master of Science is recognized universally. It is not required, to my knowledge, in any other state. The only caveat I would tell you is don't confuse this certificate with the old credentialing process. Years ago, the academic system in California established credentials, which were related to the discipline or subject that you could teach at the community college level. But credentials are now obsolete. When the minimum qualification system was put into place, they moved away from credentialing, and in fact, you can't even validate a credential for employment purposes. The certificate that we offer puts the credibility of California State University behind you when you're looking for your teaching internship. And the point of the internship is to help you bond with a mentor teacher and get you in the classroom at the community college level. I hope I kind of got off track there, but I hope I answered your question.
You know, the certificate also shows that you have taken extra time and effort to prepare to teach at a community college. So therefore, you have a extra piece of information that you're giving to the prospective employer. So that's what's important. And as I know, Mr. Baltazar and Dr. McGinness always say to the student that the internship is a full semester interview at that community college. And many of our students are first hired to be an adjunct faculty at that college. And I've received many comments from mentor teachers as how pleased they've been.
Okay, here's an interesting question. With the transition to online teaching, how much emphasis is placed on creating and teaching course content online using tools such as Blackboard, McGinness, and so on?
We have not, This pandemic came on so fast. We haven't really been able to respond to it in terms of how we would go about doing classroom teaching online in this certificate. That would require the approval of a completely separate course. So the short answer is we look at the technology, but we do not instruct in online pedagogy. Usually the learning management systems will offer courses in online pedagogy through their learning management system. So our course, our certificate is the ground level approach to community college teaching.
Okay. Another question is, can you take 549 and 548 concurrently, and are they offered every term?
They are offered every term. Usually we offer 548 and 549 in the fall semester on campus, and in the spring semester online. However, with the pandemic, we are going to a distance learning process this fall. Hopefully we'll be back on campus next year. We do not offer them simultaneously. It's not really critical if you're taking the courses online that you take them in the 549, then the 548 sequence. However, both of these courses have to be completed before you can apply for the teaching internship with Dr. Sklar.
Are there special education programs at the community college level as high in demand as at the K through 12 school level?
High demand? Well, now the highest in demand that I can see are the nursing programs. Most of those are very compacted. We're probably have a waiting list of people trying to enroll in them. We can't produce enough nurses to satisfy the need right now. And then maybe I would say English is also very high, you know, an A or an AS in whatever English, but generally most of our courses are also high and all, but the highest you can see right now is nursing. Nursing very, very in demand as far as the current stuff.
Okay. Here's a nice question. What is the percentage of students who complete this program that actually obtain a job as a community college instructor?
As I mentioned earlier, many of our students will get a adjunct position offer from the college based on their performance as an intern and the rapport that they have made with the mentor teacher. We really don't have any statistics on full-time positions and things like that, although, and sometimes our students use this certificate to advance in their rank and pay scale if they're already at a community college. Or if they're an adjunct instructor, use the certificate as an added bonus to applying for a permanent position.
Is it necessary for me to take the CBEST is the next question.
Professor Baltazar can discuss the CBEST.
CBEST. CBEST to get into a community college, no, okay? But I will advise you to have a very good grasp of this language, and it also to have a second language, of course, but I find it very difficult for maybe someone with a non-English native speaker to be able to teach in a community college simply because, in my experience, the chair of the department, I often get complaints from many of the students that they cannot understand their instructors if they cannot articulate well in English. Now, I did purpose, okay, because I have a very big population of Chinese students. I hire a Chinese instructor to be to accommodate them. But sometimes, you know what, it's very, very hard. The CBEST, no, I don't require you to hire you in our program, but the problem there is you need to be able to present and articulate very well in English, because the general population of your students need to be able to understand you. Okay? All right, Anissa.
Okay. This one is probably one of the most important questions right now. Due to schools converting to online instruction, will we receive training and education for hybrid/online learning? Or do we need to seek out additional training in this, like a certification program specifically for online teaching?
Okay, maybe I can address to Anisha. Okay, in my course, GED 49, when we go to the last week, we're going to be covering curriculum. That's one of the areas that I'm going to focus on right now, okay? But in reality, before you can teach in a community college, each college requires you to be certified in a course management system or a CMS, okay? So very, very important that you understand. Each college needs you to be certified in their particular CMS. Many colleges use Black, others use Canvas, others use Moodle, others use, you name it, Google Classroom. They have in-house certifications that will qualify you to teach online. So that's with every particular college.
Does your mentor for the internship need to be tenured, or can they be an adjunct faculty member?
We prefer that the mentor teacher is a full-time faculty member, partly because of the added time that that person can give to the mentee relative to other things beside the classroom. Under some circumstances, depending on the specialty of the field, and if there's no full-time person in that field at a specific community college, I will agree to that, but those are very special circumstances. You want to have the internship provide you with the most information and background and experience that you can from a teacher who has been there, knows all the ropes, can introduce you to committees, to administrators, and give you a path to follow for employment at that college as well.
And Dr. Sklar, this question continues on from there. If internships are limited in the surrounding areas around CSUDH, can they be done in other parts of California or in extended areas? And is it possible to do to search for more than one internship at more than one community college?
Sure. The restriction is that it be at a certified community college. I've had students in Sacramento. I have students in Michigan, Maryland, any state where the student lives, and partly because some of our students do their 2 prerequisites online, so they're coming from different parts. Of course, apply to more than one. It's like applying for a job. You don't apply for a job and wait for an answer and then go to the second one if the first one is no. So you want to select several that are convenient to you to apply to at once and see which ones reply and are possible. And of course, once you send your application to me, I will send you a list of community colleges where we've had students, and you can use that as a entree in, saying, back in 2010, you had a student in business law at Harbor College, something like that. And so then they're more familiar with our program and can help you out.
And again, because this is such a pressing question, with the community colleges being closed or going to alternate instruction at this point in time, how will that impact the application process for the community college campuses and the internship program? And is there a time limit to complete if the community colleges haven't opened back up anytime soon?
We don't have a time limit to complete the GED 594 after you've completed the 2 prerequisites. But from experience, I would suggest you not wait more than a year or so, because the tendency is to get involved with other things. Each community college is different, and I wish I could answer for all. Some are taking students, and some are so new at this that they feel that's an added burden for this coming fall semester, which does not apply to the students watching the webinar. But we have made some adjustments. There's a memo that was prepared relative to how to handle this for the fall. And hopefully we won't have to do it for spring of 2021. It all depends, and we will move along as we have to make adjustments. But you can,
Okay, that's good to know. And the next question is, does each individual college help applicants with curriculum development, or is that entirely up to the applicant? And is this an area that's covered during the courses?
The community, it depends on the relationship you have with your mentor teacher. It's a very individual relationship. And if you express your interest in that, I'm sure that the mentor teacher will either do it with you or will get someone else who has this expertise work with you in terms of how that college develops curriculum, gets it passed and approved, and so on and so forth. If you're eager to do that, I'm sure the mentor teacher will be eager to lead you in the right direction.
Okay, the next question we have is, are there other CSU campuses that offer this type of program? And what makes it unique about it here at Cal State Dominguez Hills?
I think what makes our program unique is that we are centrally located in Los Angeles, the greater Los Angeles area, with many community colleges in the surrounding community. I'm not aware of any specific other California State University campus that offers this program. There may be other programs in other states. I haven't done any research to determine that. So as we become more well-known, there may be other programs start up in other locations.
Okay. Another question is, after meeting the MQs for teaching certificate, will the completion of the internship alone qualify you for community college teaching if you have no prior teaching experience?
The internship is your teaching experience. So therefore, if you're competing with someone who hasn't had any teaching experience, you have one leg up. It's also, as we've said before, and Dr. McGinness says it all the time when we do this as an in-person session, is that it's a full semester interview at that community college. And I remember when I first started teaching eons ago, my department chair told me, I was teaching a Saturday class, that bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. And so seeing how you perform is a big advantage to the person or committee doing the hiring.
Excellent. Okay, and probably the last question about internships that we'll take for today is, Are the internships paid or unpaid?
They're unpaid.
Okay.
Neither the mentor nor the student gets paid. And the mentor really is doing it out of his or her professional commitment to teaching at the community college.
At this point, we would love to continue with the questions, but in the interest of time, we'll continue with our the end of our presentation. We would like to point out that once again, you can get in touch with the instructors. We'll put their information up in just a moment. To take your next steps, here's what you need to do. You'll need to contact our registration office. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can send an email to ereg@csudh.edu, and you can call 310-243-3741 and click option 1. If you have questions regarding anything that we didn't cover during this webinar, if they're specific to the program, you can email us at learn@csudh.edu or call 310-243-2075 during our Monday through Friday business hours. And a general reminder for anybody who's actually been a student in the recent past 2 years through the campus, you are eligible to register online during using the mycsudh.edu student portal. Okay. Again, a huge thank you to all of our wonderful program instructors. And again, if you have questions regarding your specific educational background or work experience in relation to the CCMQ's internship process or any other details, please go ahead and make sure that you contact them directly and ask them your questions in your email. Okay. You also have the info kit that has been placed in the chat once again, and please reference that for schedule details and other information. We'd love to get your feedback on today's session. Please let us know how we can improve the quality of information provided by visiting bit.ly/CSUDH-webinar-feedback and let us know how things are going. Thank you for that. This concludes our Community College Teaching Certificate Program information session, and we want to thank you for joining us today. Again, feel free to connect with us and contact us on our website, via social media, on our Facebook page or LinkedIn group, and remember to register early to get your spot in your preferred classes. We'll stay in the session for a few minutes more to give everyone a moment to jot down last-minute notes, copy information from the chat window, download the info kit, and this recording for the session will be online shortly on our website and via social media on Facebook. Once again, thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.